Hey everyone, got a 2179 MacBook Air here that is not coming on, has no signs of life. Um, Customer stated, this was the story that I was given, customer stated that their daughter plugged in a different cord into this Mac, um, or I guess a different charger is what she was telling me. uh, Basically, and after that happened, it stopped working. So uh, the current draw of this, whenever I put my amp meter on here, shows to be only at 5 volts. That's it. See there, upside down. It's 5.21 volts, and it's 0.0304 amps, and then it goes up to 0.12, and then it drops back down. So it's cycling, maybe a short, I don't know. Hopefully it won't be something too bad, but I think we're going to have to take this one apart and have a look. We got one screw here. I always forget that one. Don't see any signs of water damage. I always check that just to make sure. What kind of voltages I'm getting? Hmm. See that I got a pulsing rail, so it's showing 12 volts here and there, but then it's dropping out. If you look over here, I got a pulsing little light right here as well. I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see it there. That's that little power light. It's flickering there. For some reason it's cycling. So I need to figure out why this thing is cycling. First thing I need to do though is disconnect the battery before I do anything else. What I'm going to do is get out the good old infrared gun, because I'm going to cheat here. Although I don't really consider it cheating, because if it can find an issue quickly, I can fix it quicker. That's better for me because I can get this back to the customer. Hmm. So I can see the power management chip heating up here. Okay, I'm gonna leave keyboard connector plugged in. I'm gonna leave T-Con, or not T-Con, the other soundboard disconnected, speaker board, screen is connected. So the only thing that's connected now is just the keyboard and trackpad, screen, and that's it. I'm gonna see what happens. I'll plug this in. Okay, I have 19.9 volts. So it's probably booting, or at least, yep, I got an Apple logo. Okay. Alright, it's booting. So, let's see what causes the issue, because literally I've done nothing except I was not getting 20 volts, right? You saw it in the infrared, it was just pulsating right here, so it seemed like something was shorted, okay? All I did was unplug everything. So, there's got to be a culprit, because if I swear, if I plug everything in, back in, and everything works, I'm going to have no idea what happened. So now I'm going to connect the little other speaker board over here and auxiliary port. Get that back in there. Okay, that's connected back. Let's test it again. Oh, look, 5 volts, 5 volts. Yep. So there's something on this little board over here that's shorting us out. Interesting. Okay. Now let's do some more investigations over here. This guy, disconnect that ribbon cable for now, and then disconnect the power. or sorry, yeah, the power button ribbon, because this guy is delicate, kind of held on with some loose glue. Make sure you kind of easily pry up on it and don't yank really hard, because it will damage the ribbons. These ribbon cables are really delicate. Alright, so now let's try pulling this board out again. Aha! Liquid damage. Ha! I knew it. There's always a story. There's always another story to this. Look at that. Oh, crusty. Look at that. Oh, sorry, I can't see that. It even kind of got a little nasty right there. Yep, liquid damage. That'll get you. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to go to the microscope cam, and I'm going to put this down here so I can take a picture to show the customer. What happened here? Eesh. That's pretty rough. Let's see if we can get a better focus. Yeah. Alright. So there you have it. That's why that board's bad. And that's a notorious location for water damage. And from the looks of it, that's been there for a while. So, yep, that's why when that board's plugged in, it has a short on it. So now what we need to do is see if it's salvageable or not. Most likely it's not. See, this side looks really nice. It looks like there's no problems. Right? This side looks really bad. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is get some isopropyl alcohol and see if I can just clean this area up. It would be really nice if I could clean it up enough without damaging anything, but this one is probably a little too far gone. Maybe. We'll see. It might be savable. Maybe. Maybe it'll just be a little cap or something that'll be shorted. I can flick it off. That looks pretty rough though. Yeah, there's always something usually. Like, it's pretty rare I've found anything that's like just spontaneously died on a Mac like that without some sort of liquid damage. I mean, it happens, but it's pretty rare. You know, that's actually cleaning up pretty well, surprisingly. That cleaned up actually really well. I'm actually surprised how well that cleaned up. was some crunchies that fell out of there. I didn't want to get between the screen and the case. So I'm going to wipe that down again. Let's have a look at this button. Okay. Well, it doesn't look too bad. It's got a little bit of evidence of corrosion in there, but nothing too bad. So I'm just going to kind of give it a little hose down with some isopropyl alcohol. But I think it looks fine. Alright, back to this. So, I think this guy survived. So now I'm going to put him back in the case. The way I took him out. You know what? I'm going to clean the case here too. Alright. It's wiped down pretty good.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Can you put me to bed?
Yeah, let me stop recording. Oh, it's connected here. And I'm going to plug it in here. And I want to look at it under the infrared. Let's see what we get. which component is heating up. There's a little guy. See a pulse. It's hard to tell because my hand is you see it pulsing. So now what I'm going to do is try to look closer as to what that is. See if it's something that I can flick off the board or not. So, if you look right here, I think I know the culprit. There is a capacitor right there. That little guy, I think, has failed. So what I'm going to do is remove him. So that little capacitor right there is probably causing me trouble. So I'm going to try to flick him off right now. Oh, he cracked. I'll have to. He came apart. So he had got hot for a while now. So what I'm going to do is use my hot air station. Try not to put too much direct heat on it, and I'm going to remove that guy. Alright, he's off there. Gone. Okay, so this guy's cooled off now enough. I can touch it continuously. And I got rid of that capacitor that had been roasted and shorted because it was, I tried to flick it and it just crumbled and came apart. So hopefully that got rid of the dead short on this little board, and hopefully now it'll start working. We shall see. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see if we get 20 volts. Hey, we got 20 volts, 19.9 volts. And we are booting. There it is, you heard it. Alright, great news. So that fixed this little guy. At least it got rid of the short. I need to test it, make sure that speaker works on that side, and all that, to make sure, everything is functional again. Because it very well could be something else that's damaged. So we want to do a test on everything else, but I'm going to go ahead and put this back in its slot. Okay, I'm going to listen for that speaker on this side, just to make sure that speaker's working. Okay, speaker's working. Good. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the antennas back on. Okay, everything's in there. Check the tightness on everything. I always like to make sure things are snug. We don't want things coming out. While it's being used. Alright, I think that's it, except for the battery now. Let's go ahead and put the battery back in. Okay, everything seems to be back in. Let's do another test. Apple logo. Sure is booting really slow. I wonder if there's still a problem with that board. Alright, yeah. Do is I'll let it charge. So, one thing I know on these computers is um, if these peripheral boards are like, say like your trackpad or something's wrong with your trackpad or whatever, it'll boot really, really slow. Or like a dead battery will do the same. Um, or this little connector over here could do the same. So, um, if there's like a sensor or something over here, which I'd have to go look at the schematic to see for sure, but if there's some sort of sensor that this thing is looking for and it's messed up from all that corrosion, then it may be making it boot slow because of that. To to try to save itself essentially if something's not reporting right. So let it charge for a little while, see if that changes how quickly it boots and how fast it runs. If that doesn't change, then I'm probably going to buy another one of these boards. And that should fit, because that was the only place that had damage. There was no corrosion on the main board at all, only over here. So replacing this guy would probably fix it if it's not just a low battery, because I know these things with a low battery, they will not run worth a darn either. The battery's too drained. I found that out a while back, that if the battery is too dead and doesn't charge, then it will uh, boot very, very slow, or just like it was doing. So, but it is booted, so that's good. Much better than we were a little while ago. So, just let it sit here and charge. Alright, so it was charging for a little while. Got it up to about 30% or so. So, I shut it off. Now I'm going to test to see um, if it boots quickly now that it actually has a charge and the battery's not dead. So, and this is from a full shutdown. Okay, yeah, that's pretty quick. A lot better than before when it was first booting after it was fixed. But it's running on battery now, 27% right there. And that was a pretty quick boot from full shutdown. So I think we're okay. I think this little board over here is alright. I think it survived. So just had that one shorted capacitor on it. So alright, awesome. Now I'm just going to put the back on it, button it up, and give it back to the customer. It's amazing how one tiny little component can cause the whole thing to shut off. And the problem we found was not even remotely the same issue. It had water damage, and we were just told that it was the a different cable. So maybe that's around the time when it happened. It just coincidentally happened at the same time. So, but yep. Let's see. Go ahead and get the cover back on. Put their cover back on for them. Ta-da! Awesome. Alright, I'm going to close it up and I'm going to let it sit in here and charge overnight. Give them a full charge. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.